about at once. There we go. Okay.
Yes, so even when I'm doing my yoga, I'm mindful of my hips, where my feet are standing the true hip width apart, second toe 12 o'clock. And I've been able to have deeper stretches, and I took my time with my lower back. And so today I was able to go deeper into some stretches and whatnot. And I get a lot of the strength when I focused on my hip and my root and sacral chakras. And it's just been, I get a lot of power that charges up from it, and I'm able to go deeper. So I've been enjoying it.
I mean, it sounds like you'd be a perfect candidate to at least be a case study to go through the proper process with someone. Yeah. Because because I think if you've got that much, but we do so little in these sessions. We are literally just observing, but when you understand the biomechanics and how they're designed to work, which we haven't been using at all in the sessions you've seen. So yeah, we should have a chat about that to see, what time, and you still have to pay something to be a case study, but it's very, very reasonable, really.
And I also noticed the past couple of days in my traps, below my shoulder blade on the left side, I get this, it feels like I'm going through the electrologist training. Like when I go to physical therapy and they put the electrodes on me, I've been getting that feeling in my nerves. Past
You're
3
going to
days.
like what we do today then. It's going to be just for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, it's going to be good. Right, we're just seeing who else is coming. We'll just give it 2 or 3 more minutes. Hi, Manu. Welcome.
Hi.
Emily, how are your case studies going? They're going well.
Yeah, I did my first one-to-one at the weekend. Exciting.
Yeah,
it felt really good. It's sort of, when I was starting off, I thought, oh, am I going to remember it all? And what am I doing? And then it just all came through really nicely. So it's lovely.
Brilliant. Okay.
I'm just going to grab a glass of water, actually.
Okay. So, Janice, how long have you had all the back pain for?
10 years. I'm prior military, so just working with carrying caskets and storeroom. I had real physical jobs, and then had 3 different career fields. So they all require certain demands on the body. And then, but I noticed like when I sit down, I have a very straight back, so I barely have an S curve. So those chairs weren't aligned for my back. So when I'm just like slouching, it just was not helping at all. But even when I went through yoga instructor class, they had me sit on a block, which helped pelvis shift. And then I was able to sit in a position longer, but still need some type of support for my upper thoracic, cervicalgia.
Yeah. Wow, you'll just love this process. This process is so kind of, there's just stuff you need to know, basically. There's just stuff you need to know. And once you know it and you get it into your body, you can kind of understand how to have a reasonable relationship with whatever you're doing, to be honest.
Absolutely. I've done the adjustments. I have I did autosomatic, I think it was called, something like that, adjusted before. I've done the chiropractor last year, and they just kept telling me to strengthen your back muscles, strengthen your back muscles. But however, like I said, that first time when you told me how to stand properly, and I was on the train standing there and I couldn't believe it. Like, I was just like a whole new world. Like, it was just,
And there are so many different versions of that you need to understand about your body. Yeah, it's like that was just kind of that starting from the feet. Yeah, like I've got a new skeleton. Because I've had to get rid of my big skeleton. Oh, yesterday was a sad day because I'm downsizing. But yeah, but as you can see, so you got that right. But there's still he's not very flexible. But basically, if you think about those structures, and they all need to be able to, yeah, they all need to be able to kind of move that way, but independently of each other. Yeah. And we come in and we teach you how to get every joint in your body. So not just the second toes, but every joint in your body aligned correctly. Yeah. So we give you that kind of reassurance that you become the master of your body. So you shouldn't need a chiro or an osteo or physio. I mean, there's no harm in going for those treatments, but we want to give you more of an understanding, really, of what's going on. Yeah. Okay. Hi, Anya. How are you? You good? Henry, how are you doing?
Sorry, I'm late.
Good.
All right. Well, so today is check into your neck. So obviously the neck can do we can have some interesting stuff going on with the neck if it's like not in alignment with the rib cage. Lots of things could be going on. We come up through the feet. So obviously we'll start in the feet and I'll just slowly bring us up. And then I'm going to want you to think about these spaces. We're going to be thinking spaces, and we'll also be looking at how the kind of the wrists, arms, shoulder joints and movement of the scapula as well will just get you feeling into it a little bit. So you start to feel the switch on from the neck muscles at the bottom. Yeah. And then we'll look at a little bit of what the skull is doing from the top of the neck. Okay, so we just want Anya.
I think you're going to win.
This one yet. I think I'll put it in the group and ask for like what to call the skeleton. Oh, that's so good. I'm going to get a half body size one as well because this just isn't mobile enough, but at least it shows you what you've got in your body, but it doesn't show you it shows you some of the articulations, but none of this stuff. But yeah, it's better than nothing. So that's great, Anya. You've got one too. I love that. We do love a skeleton, don't we? So, okay, if you want to get on your feet, and as I always say, if anything feels too much, then just sit down, although I'm sure you'll all be okay with what we're doing today. Okay. So, standing up and just feel into the foot tripods, getting them standing, hip width apart. And just noticing when you're standing, we don't want you leaning too far forward, then you'll feel the pressure in the front of your feet. We don't want you too far backwards because that will literally bring your toes off the ground. So if you think about a door frame, we just want you completely aligned. And then we also want to make sure that you've still got the feet hip width apart. So that is heels under knees, knees under the middle of the thigh. Yeah, the hip joints come in about here. So we want that going on. So everyone here has explored the feet and has explored the legs. So I'll come up through, but I'll try not to spend as much time as I might do normally, because I think also, Janice, you've had a really good experience, so you kind of understand what's going on, even though you haven't done a great deal so far. So feeling into those foot tripods, first of all, the right foot tripod. I'm remembering that you have 26 bones in that right foot. all different shapes and sizes, the tiny bones in your toes. Think of your little toe in front of the fifth match, teeny weeny bones. And then you've got really big bones like your calcaneus, which is your heel bone, and your talus bone, which is the bone that makes the front of the ankle. And just let all of those bones, so you've also got your long bones in the midfoot. Maybe just give your feet a little bit of a squeeze and just be aware that deep inside of there is just a whole family of bones supporting you, surrounded by ligaments, muscles, connective tissue, and skin, and all of those 33 joints in that right foot. So just really sinking in. And then just allow your right knee to bend, but keep your weight on your left leg. Keep the left knee straight and engaged, and just let the right knee bend. And I want you to have a sense of how the lower leg bones, as the knee bends, just sink down and the front of the ankle closes, but make sure that the back of the heel stays on the ground. And then straighten that right knee. And as you do it, I want you to have a real sense of the pressure going down into the heel, whilst the knee itself is almost pushing your body upwards. So we have this interesting relationship in the lower leg bones of kind of pushing down and pushing up all at the same time. Let's do that again, just bending the right knee, keeping the weight on the left leg, and just feeling the folding at the front of the ankle, back of the knee, and front of the hip. And then as you straighten that right knee, just really feeling the pressure pushing down into the heel, whilst also mechanically pushing your upper leg bone, your thigh, upwards. And this time again, bend the knee one more time, but I want you to think and feel into how the lower leg bones are literally just pulling the thigh bone downwards. And then straightening that right knee and really feel that sense of the thigh bone being pushed upwards. And then just bending that right knee one more time, but feeling how the thigh bone is just opening and pulling down the hip area, the right hip area. And then again, feeling as the knee straightens, feel how the heel is kind of pushing into the ground, whilst the top of the lower leg bones are pushing the knee up, and then the thigh bone is pushing the pelvis up. It's this beautiful relationship between all these parts of you. One more time, just bending that knee, feeling the lower leg bones folding towards the foot bones, pulling down the thigh bone, pulling down the right side of the pelvis, keeping a neutral pelvis, almost as if your tailbone is just pointing down to the ground, and then straightening that knee, feeling the heel being pushed into the ground, whilst the top of the lower legs push the thigh bone up, and the top of the thigh bone pushes the pelvis back up. Just really feeling then with an engaged right knee, just feeling that support now in the right side of your body. And you feel that lovely sense of it's those bones, forget the muscles, it's those bones that are the real strength that are supporting you and moving you when you move. So now let's bring your attention into the left leg. All of those incredible 26 bones in your left foot. Again, that incredibleness of the different sizes of the bones. You've got a big heel bone, a talus bone, which is front of the ankle. Those are big bones. And then you've got lots of little bones towards the rear of your foot. And then you've got all the long bones for 5 metatarsals, which make up your midfoot. And then all those incredible tiny bones in your toes. And they're all working all the time for you. And the more you understand how they work, the more they'll help to activate and support every other part of your body. So just giving the foot a little bit of a squeeze, a little bit of a claw, that left foot, just really waking up all those bones, then stretching, spreading the toes, and then planting the foot. And just being aware of over the bones, we've got all the ligaments connecting the joints together. We've got the tendons of the muscles attaching all the muscles to the bones. And then you've got all the connective tissue and the skin. All of this is making up that left foot. And just allow the left knee, keeping the weight now down your straight right leg, but allowing the left knee to fold down. Feel the lower leg bones folding towards the foot. And then straightening that left knee and really feeling how the bones almost push the heel into the ground, whilst also pushing the thigh upwards. And then folding the left knee again, feeling the front of the ankle closing, back of the knee closing, front of the pelvis being pulled down. And then straightening that left knee, really feeling the bones pushing the heel into the ground whilst pushing the thigh upwards. Bend the knee again, but this time really focusing on how the lower leg bones sinking down, just pull that thigh bone. It's non-negotiable. The thigh bone is just pulled down, and then as you straighten that left knee, just feel how the lower leg bones are pushing the thigh bone back up again. And bending your left leg one more time, just this time really focusing on the lower leg bones pulling the thigh bone down, but then how the thigh bone, can you feel that connection into the base of your pelvis and how it's literally pulling the left side of your pelvis sideways and downwards. And then just straightening that left knee. For a moment, I just want you to notice, where are your arms? Where are your hands? If they were hands on a round clock face, where are they on that clock face? Are they at 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock, or are they more like 2 o'clock and 10 o'clock? And if they're not at 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock, I would just like you to invite you to bring them to 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock. And notice then, does that change the relationship your feet are having with the ground? Does it change the way you feel in the base of your spine? If it does, if the base of your spine feels tighter when you bring the hands to 3 and 9 o'clock, again, just drop the pelvis down a little bit. So it's like your tailbone is pointing to the ground. Okay. And now from this place, I would like you to you could do a couple of tiny bends of the left and right knee, but with your focus on how this affects the hip joint. So when you bend the knee and straighten the knee, I want you to really feel in purely to what's going on in the bottom of your pelvis. Maybe bending the right knee and straightening it a couple of times, really waking up that joint, the ball and socket joint in the right side of the base of the pelvis, and then the left side, bending that left knee and straightening it, bending and straightening it. And can you start to feel that ball and socket joint kind of working, the mechanics deep inside? You might even start to feel this almost feeling like it's giving your belly a bit of a workout, because different muscles will switch on. And then what I want you to do is just rock the base of the pelvis. So this is not your knees doing it, and it's not your rib cage moving. Just rock the base of the pelvis. It can be a very small movement, backwards and forwards on the heads of the thigh bones. So the top heads of the thigh bones are the ball, and the base of the pelvis has the sockets, and it's where does that relationship work? Can you feel it? Can you feel those small movements? Allow your arms just to hang at 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock. Just to keep the upper body aligned correctly. And then after you've done that rocking backwards and forwards again, just maybe then again do a couple of knee bends on the right, couple of knee bends on the left, and just see if you can really feel that foundation in the base of the pelvis. And then I want you to bend the right knee, but to bring your attention more to where the base of the spine is at the back of the pelvis. And then straighten that right knee. And can you feel that kind of closing around the sacrum area in the base of the spine? Then as you bend that right knee again, you almost feel how that wants to pull the back of the pelvis slightly down and under. You may or may not feel that depending on experience. And then straighten the knee. Can you feel the back of the pelvis coming back, really meeting and compressing with the right side of the base of the spine? Then let's do that on the left-hand side. So bending the left knee, really opening the back of the pelvis, that sacroiliac area, and then straightening the knee, just kind of pushing the pelvis back towards the base of the spine. One more time, just bending the knee, and then straightening the knee. And I'd invite you now just very gently to alternate between bending one knee and straightening, and bending the other knee and straightening, but really tuning in to what's happening at the base of your spine. How is this kind of activating and bringing you in to feel that something's going on there? It's kind of, it's like a pump, it's like mechanics. And obviously when the knee bends, it creates that more posterior tilt, and when it straightens, it creates the anterior tilt. And then just rock the pelvis backwards and forwards from that area at the base of your spine. So where those joints are, just rocking that as if you have a tail, just rocking the tail up and down. And as the tail goes back, feel the arch coming into your back, and your belly softening. And as the tail goes down, you'll probably feel your belly engage. You'll feel the muscles in your buttocks engage. And I want you to play with that. But as the tail goes back this time, I want you to feel, can you feel that movement and the arch going all the way up towards your rib cage? And then as you tuck the tailbone under, can you have a sense that it's almost pulling the back of your rib cage down? And then send the tailbone backwards behind you to 6 o'clock. And just feel it, probably feel like a bit of a compression, maybe going up through the back of your spine. And then tucking the tailbone under. Can you feel how it almost pulls the spine down, almost as if it was a little chain pulling it down? And sending the tailbone back towards 6 o'clock again. And this time, as you arch the back and it goes up through the rib cage, can you feel how it then starts to impact the neck? Keeping the level of the eyes on the horizon. So the arch back, can you feel, if you arch it enough, how that impacts the neck? And then sending the tailbone under, sending it under, the spine will flex. And again, feeling what does that do in your neck. Okay. And now I want you to bring your attention to your right hand. And I want you to send your right hand, make sure it's at 3 o'clock and not at 2 o'clock. Just touch your thigh, keep your head still, and just send your right hand down your leg. And just notice, can you feel the opening in the right side of your neck? And then send your left hand down your left leg. Can you feel how that then opens the left side of your neck? And then just bringing the hands so that they're just hanging slightly away from the legs. And then hopefully your right hand, the thumb is facing forwards in the direction of 12 o'clock. Just really let the right arm be soft and hang, but then just rotate the right wrist as if the finger's going towards 3 o'clock. Keep it going, keep it going, keep the elbow straight. And can you feel that connecting in very subtly up through the arm into the right neck muscles, very subtly. And then rotate the wrist back in, but keep it going, rotate it in towards 9 o'clock and then 12 o'clock. And again, can you feel how that feeds into your neck? And then just release the wrist. Just notice how much space have you got between that right arm and your legs, your rib cage. And then bring your attention to your left arm, where your left arm's hanging. And what does the space feel like there, where the arm is hanging between the body compared to the right arm? And then just engage the fingers of the left hand, so the thumb's facing forward. And again, then just allow the arm to hang softly, really softly, and then send the left wrist so it's rotating out in the direction of 9 o'clock. Keep it going, keep it going. And can you feel how that connects up? It rotates the elbow, which rotates the shoulder joint, which impacts the scapula, which then impacts the neck. And keep the fingers, keep the arm hanging, so the fingers are pointing to the floor. We just want the arms to be like the tubes they are, pointing to the floor. And then I just want you to bring your attention to the space between your right shoulder and your right ear. And the space between your left shoulder and your left ear. And do they feel the same or do they feel different? And then I'd like you to just check in. Maybe first check with your belly button. Is your belly button facing 12 o'clock? If not, bring it to 12 o'clock. And then check with your breastbone. Is your breastbone facing 12 o'clock? If not, bring it to 12 o'clock. And as you do that, can you feel how that might activate and impact your neck? And then just notice with your nose, do you think your nose is facing 12 o'clock? If not, bring your nose to 12 o'clock. And then bring your attention back to the space between your right ear and your right shoulder. Notice what it's like now. And then your left ear and your left shoulder. And what it's like now. And does it feel the same as before, or maybe a little bit more balanced? Just from checking those rotations. And then I would just like you to send the base of your skull upwards. So as if the base of your skull is just rising. Really feel that opening in the back of your neck. And then just send the base of your skull back down and keep it going downwards. And feel an opening in the front of your neck. And then bring your head to neutral. Now I'd like you just to become aware of your jaw. Is your jaw quite tight? Can you just release your chin, let your lips part slightly? And just notice how that feels in your throat. And then just tighten your jaw, maybe grit your teeth slightly. And I want you to notice, how does that translate into your neck and the neck muscles, just kind of gritting the teeth, tightening the lips. How does that affect all the muscles in your skull and your neck and your throat? And then really relax that jaw. Let the chin drop. Maybe let the base of the skull just go up very slightly, and keep the throat really soft. Let the tongue just rest at the bottom of the mouth. For a moment with that feeling, just really tuning in to how that shows up for your neck, and the throat, and the tongue soften. I want you just to have a sense of almost rotating your head, but from your throat, right inside your throat. Just send the head round towards the right, 3 o'clock. Notice how far you can get. And then round to the left towards 9 o'clock, as if from inside the throat. Just notice how that feels for your whole body when you move with that intention from deep inside you. And then again, just slightly grit your teeth, tightening your jaw, and then send your head in the direction of 3 o'clock. And notice the contrast. And then in the direction towards 9 o'clock. Tight throat, tight jaw. And let's now do that again with a really soft throat, soft jaw. Just send deep inside, around to 3 o'clock. And to 9 o'clock. Just seeing how soft you can get the area. And remembering there are beautiful little cervical spinal bones in that neck. 7 of them. So as the head is rotating, let's bring it to 12 and then rotate it to 3 o'clock. Just have a sense that there are little bones now behind that throat. And can you almost feel one of them at a time just spiraling round in the direction of 3 o'clock? 7 separate little spirals that can happen. And then bringing your head back 12 and then round to 9. Again, those 7 little bones, each has their own little capacity for a bit more movement in the neck. Bringing them back to center. And now again, sending the base of the skull upwards, but really having a sense that there are 7 little vertebrae. Can you almost feel the skull traveling upwards a little bit more for each of the vertebrae? And then just allow the eyes to come back to horizon level. And again, just maybe anterior and posteriorly tilting the pelvis just to kind of activate the spine and bring yourself back down through the rib cage, really bringing that awareness to that area, and then bringing yourself down through the lumbar area, the lower back, and down through the pelvis, rocking on top of those thigh bones. And then down through the thigh bones, through the lower leg bones, and back into the feet. Maybe give the feet a squeeze and a stretch, a squeeze and a stretch. And then when you're ready, opening your eyes, looking at what's in front of you at 12 o'clock, what's to the side of you at 3 o'clock, what's to the left side of you at 9 o'clock, and just rubbing those hands. Really giving that beautiful neck, which is the area we've been focusing, really nice rub, and maybe the shoulders as well. Lovely. And then just coming back into the room. Hi, Christy. Welcome. Janice, are you still with us? Not sure what happened. How was that?
I feel more you are doing more, it gets stronger because the energy is going more and more. Sorry.
You're all right, Claire. Take your time.
Mixed up with French. Okay, start.
You can say it in French, I can translate.
Oh, brilliant.
Je disais que plus on fait ces exercices, plus ça devient fort parce que l'énergie circule vraiment mieux.
Just the more she does it, the better the energy circulates and the stronger she gets.
Amazing. Oh, thank you for translating, Christy. How lovely for you to share it in French, Claire.
Suddenly I was thinking in French, so I was mixed up, sorry.
No problem. No problem. Yeah, I kind of was getting us into the little bones just a little bit today. Something a little bit different. Who could feel into that? Could anyone feel like the different stages of the different vertebrae?
Yes.
Yeah. Manuela, how was it for you?
Yeah, it was good because there was some kind of rotation in my body, and I think I was able to get rid of most of it, not all of it, but most of it.
Yeah.
So it is better. Yeah.
So when we came back and we checked the belly button and the breastbone and the nose, and yeah, where was everyone's arms before we started looking where the arms were on the clock face? Mine are always further forward. They're always hanging out nearer to 2 and 10 until I remind them to come back. And then everything's different. Anything else? Anya, how was it for you?
The neck felt good. I feel like I think I could feel the, maybe not 7, maybe 6.5. Yeah, but I could feel more.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to seeing it tomorrow. The pelvis is I'm conscious of what the pelvis is doing at that time. So I was getting distracted by what I was feeling there. But the neck felt good.
Brilliant. Okay. Fantastic. I don't know. Chanice, are you there? She's gone on mute and turned off, so I'm not sure. So we're going to do a little bit of the movements of the neck. We'll check into that in the Get Into Your Neck at 6 o'clock. So we'll go through a bit of that then. Yeah, and I think it's all trainee practitioners here. We don't need to talk lots in terms of feedback. Yeah, does anyone else want to share anything?
I think, yeah, more. I've been more aware of kind of like of making sure my upper body is more upright. All the time, really. It's still a really weird practice because it still feels like I'm trying to push myself upright, but it doesn't seem to want to go. But having said that, what I have noticed is like today, my right foot, when we're doing the bending, at the ankle joint, it's more in contact with the ground, because it was in contact with the ground before, but when I was bending it, it's like the heel wanted to rise up, and even though it was touching the ground, there was less positive contact. And so when I kind of like be more aware of, because it's really actually my right hand side that's forward, so I guess that's the ribcage rotation.
Yeah, rotation, and obviously if the upper body's forward, it does make the heel want to come off the ground more. So the scapula's going back will help keep the heel on the ground, definitely.
Yeah, so I think I always had a little bit of it always felt like, even though it was in contact, it wasn't like a firm positive contact with the ground, the heel. So,
Yeah.
but so yeah.
Okay. Fantastic. Well, listen, I'm going to switch off for 20 minutes and then we'll come back at 6 o'clock and we'll do some of the actual neck movements. Because we've got that scheduled to get into your neck at 6 p.m. Who's coming back for that? Just so I'm aware. Coming back? Yeah, Christy. Okay. All right. So I will see you then. And thank you for being here. And I'll see you at 6 o'clock. All right. Okay.
See you later.
See you soon.